It is week 0 of college football. We have finally made it through the horrible, terrible, long offseason as college football fans, and we're going to talk all about the games, including Farmageddon from Dublin, Ireland. That's right, Farmageddon overseas. Next on the College Huddle. And joining me to talk all about it is the man himself. It is Chef from the Cocaine Willie Podcast. My man, make sure you all out there hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Leave your comments in the comment section below. We need to get this video pumping. We need to get this channel pumping because we're going to have great content pumping out all season to you, ladies and gentlemen, here on the College Huddle, which is the Kansas State member right here, Cocaine Willie Podcast. Chef, welcome in, man. Week 0, bro.
Man, it's here. I'm over the moon. I mean, we finally made it through the dog days of summer, and we get a little taste. I mean, it's not for everybody. Not everybody gets to do week 0, but this is a special one. Rivalry game, Farmageddon, week 0 counts as a conference game. So you're starting off hot. It's all the chips are on the table. So I'm pumped. I am pumped.
Yeah, dude, this is wild, man. So for those who don't know what Farmageddon is, what this rivalry is all about, I'm gonna have you break it down for everybody. But here, you might not get two more even programs with more of a rich history than these two right here in college football. I'm sure there's a couple out there somewhere, but this series is leaning towards Iowa State's way, 54-50 with 4 ties. So 108 matchups and only 4 more wins to Iowa State. But they also have the 4 out of the last 5 in the series as well. So this thing was tied for a hot minute there, and Iowa State is leaned out ahead a little bit, but now Kansas State gets the opportunity to get one of those games back overseas in Ireland, and the kickoff classic is kind of what we used to call it back in the day. This week 0, I'm not sure what they're going with it now these days. I guess it's the classic or something like that. The college football classic is what they're calling it.
Yeah, they have a sponsored name for this for the stadium. I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head, but this rivalry, if you want me to get into that, it's really been one of those rivalries that kind of came on late. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of history involved. It's one of the, if I'm not mistaken, it's one of the longest running consecutive rivalries in college football right now. I mean, we haven't missed this game in like 108 years. It's kind of crazy how long this rivalry has continuously gone. And I want to make a special shout out to Jamie Pollard, the AD for Iowa State, who is an absolute coward for trying to back out of this game in 2 years in 2027, breaking the streak, which, I mean, it's disgusting work on Iowa State's behavior. They're a bunch of corn-fed cowards in my book. But this game, man, you can't break it down really into how the rivalry has sparked over the internet. I'll tell you like that. That's really where the new rivalry has come. Farmageddon. This is a forum board kind of rivalry. It's sparked on the internet where the new freshness of this rivalry has been born. So the last 5 years have been rough. I mean, we've had one game where we eked out a win 10-9 in 2022 when we won the conference championship that season. But other than that, they've really had our number. And outside of COVID, they've really, really been close. COVID doesn't count. But yeah, so it's going to be a close game in my book. But I'm really, really anticipating this game. And I think this is K-State's team that we've been building up to and Iowa State is kind of in a rebuild mode, in my opinion. So we will see what happens, but I'm looking forward to this game thoroughly.
Yeah, this thing's got a lot of huge, big picture season implications riding on this thing. Um, these are two teams that feel like they can compete for a Big 12 championship, which means these are two teams who are vying for one of the 12 spots in the college football playoff. And to play each other in a conference game week one, overseas nonetheless, is just mind blowing to me. This is crazy stuff. If we were going to say, hey, this is a week one game, you got some big ones in week one, right? You got Clemson, LSU, you've got Notre Dame, Miami, you've got Ohio State and Texas, right? Kansas State, Iowa State is in the top five in week one if this is played in week one. This is a rivalry game, conference game with possible championship implications riding on it from the word go.
Yeah,
That is crazy, dude. So I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to blow this thing out of proportion, but these are two teams back when we did our previews, Chef. These were two Big 12 teams that got quite far in that little simulation we did. And to think that they are squaring off to start off this thing is just crazy to me, dude. So huge, huge implications. What's your thoughts on this being played overseas? Is this good? Is this bad? Like from a
see,
K-State perspective, man.
okay, this is where I'll interject right here because yeah, like you said, nothing you said was hyperbolic at all. I mean, that's just cold hard fact. That's just the truth about it. But from the Kansas State perspective on this game being played in Dublin, Ireland, week 0, whether it was played week 0, it doesn't really matter, but being played overseas, we are losing a home game. That we had to give up a home game. We pocketed a little bit of cash. The Big 12, if you're a Big 12 team, you're not you're not going to turn down really any cash at this moment. You need all the money you can get to help with the finances, but turning down a home game and limiting your chances for a hometown of Manhattan, Kansas that really thrives. It's a true college town. It thrives. The economy thrives off of home games. So there's some real people in that community that's not happy at all. It's really really upsetting that they had to do that for the small businesses, for anything like that. But in terms of the brand exposure, the appeal of this game, I mean, you couldn't pick a perfect more suitable game to give up a home game for to get that exposure than Farmageddon, one of your biggest rivalries in week 0. It's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz. So turning down, it's very similar to, I think in 2019, we gave up a home game versus Stanford to go play in AT&T Stadium in week 1. It's very similar to that. A lot of the discourse on the internet is, why are we giving up? We're losing a whole bunch of money for the economy in Manhattan, Kansas, to play in Dallas and give that money up. And then you're getting ticket allotments. This one in particular, it's not a drive. There's no drive, and you have got to shell out some cold hard cash to get over there. I mean, Kansas State put on an absolute money ticket package where you get tours, you get all these stops, and it's beautiful. But you still you're shelling out thousands of dollars to do this game, so it's not for everyone. So you're not going to get the absolute money turnout that you would in Manhattan, 55,000 screaming that you would in Kansas. But for all in all, I think it is a win in Kansas State's book.
You got to find a way to get the locals to become K-State fans for a day. Like that's I mean when Notre Dame played over there, it's pretty obvious
Yes,
who
kind of
everybody
easy.
was going to. But this, Kansas State and Iowa State are not on the same level of, the Fighting Irish here as far as ties to Ireland here. But I would feel like if there was any way, like maybe you just give them something simple, like you pass out like purple towels to everybody and be like, "Hey man, go root for us, guys!" Like you got to do something to get the locals there because there's going to be a lot of local folks who are going to go to the football game just because there's a taste internationally for American football, and so it's going to be a lot. It's going to be very interesting to see like what the fan disparity will be as far as numbers from Iowa State to Kansas State. Yeah, so I understand the financials of this. Obviously, it helps out the program. It helps out the athletic department long term. Have you guys like how long has the team been there? Have they left already as we record this on what is this Tuesday evening?
As far as I know, they leave Wednesday
Okay,
and
so
they get
tomorrow.
there. They leave Wednesday. They arrive Wednesday evening, get acclimated, get their body clocks right. I don't think it's as bad. I mean, they're losing a good amount of hours, but Thursday they practice a good hard practice. Friday is a walkthrough, and they have a pep rally on Friday, and then Saturday it's go time. So they're it's a business trip for this Kansas State squad. All the players have talked about it. They're not trying to overblow this game and really get amped up, but I know that they're really feeling obviously the rivalry, but they're looking at it as a business trip. They're going to get in, get out. There's no, they're not doing Guinness tours or anything like that. They're getting in, they're going to play the game, and they're hightailing it home as quick as they can because unlike a lot of these teams that play these week 0 games, we have one immediately week 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's at North Dakota, who's not a very good FCS team, but nonetheless, you're still losing. You're losing time. You're going to lose a lot of rest coming back over stateside, and they're looking at it for a long, long haul. That we've trained in the off season. We've done different things this fall camp than we've ever done in terms of more weight training instead of more practices. So it was less practices in the fall, but more weightlifting, more team building programs like that to get these guys bigger, stronger, and faster to hold up over the season because it is still the same amount of games, but it's stretched out a lot further. 3 buys this season as well. So it's going to be interesting,
Mm-hmm.
the tactics that we look at, but they're looking at this game much like a business trip to get in, get a dub, and get back home.
What's interesting too, you brought up the schedule is you guys don't get your bye until week 4, so you're gonna play 4 consecutive games before you get a bye, and that fourth one is actually on a Friday night. So you go overseas Saturday, Friday,
Yep.
and before you actually get a bye, which is incredibly interesting. But I gotta imagine, yeah, that there's gonna be a little bit of a disadvantage. I remember when Notre Dame did this, they were it took them a few weeks to kind of find their feet again once they got back to stateside after I think they played Georgia Tech if I remember correctly.
I
I think.
I know. Has Notre Dame played? I know Notre Dame played Navy, and Florida State played Georgia Tech
Well,
last year.
yeah, Florida State, Georgia Tech were last year, and Georgia Tech beat them, and it was considered an upset. And then we found out that Florida State was like no bueno
Right.
last year. That's right. I forget who Mayo's Navy.
Yep.
They
Notre
played
Dame
Navy.
Navy.
It just came to me. And you guys got Army on the schedule in
We
week
haven't. We
two.
have a service academy. This first 4 game stretch. I know this isn't a Kansas State schedule podcast, but we've got Farmageddon week 1. Then we go North Dakota, then Army, a service academy, and then on a short day rest we play Arizona, which doesn't count as a conference game, on a Friday on the road, and then a bye. So like this first 4 game stretch is kind of a tricky one. If we should be favored in every single one of these games, but we have to show up for all of those if we want to get where we want to go because we can't screw around and take a L to one of these games that we shouldn't.
Okay, let's go back to the game here a little bit. Let's preview it. Let me ask you this: where does Kansas State have the advantage in this football game?
I think we have the advantage in our front seven. In my opinion, we have one of the best front sevens in the Big 12. We have one of the deepest D line rooms that we've had since Kleiman has been here, in my opinion, we are running 3 deep at every D end position. D tackle is a little sketchy, but we returned 2 of the best D tackles that we've had in the Kleiman era, and 2 Polynesian kids that are absolutely money. They are the real deal. And then the linebackers, we do have an Ohio State transfer for all the fans that are listening to this, Gabe Powers in the 2 deep that should, be spelling some of these linebackers when we go to a 3-3-5 look, and probably a good solid backup, the first linebacker up in our 4-2-5 look. But speaking of those linebackers, Austin Romaine is all-American potential. I famously this offseason questioned whether the hype was real for him. And, from everybody that has any interaction with me told me I'm stupid because he is the truth. Austin Romaine, you're going to know his name. He was the number one returning linebacker according to PFF. I don't know how much stock you guys put into PFF, but if you look at those numbers, he is an absolute run-stuffing linebacker that gets it done. He had calls from SEC and Big Ten programs trying to get him out of the Big 12. Our front seven versus Iowa State, who has a solid offensive line, but one of the worst running teams in the Big 12 last season. And that puts a lot of pressure on Rocco Beck to try to get things going through the air after he lost his 2 best receivers, probably in school history, in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. So him with a fresh new wide receiver unit, a running game that is just not their forte versus our front seven, I expect a lot of domination on the line of scrimmage to get things pushed back into their laps and making it easier on our inexperienced secondary that, we have some players back there that are the real deal, but we're a lot of new faces in that back 5. So it's going to be interesting to see what they show in this week 0 game.
All right, let's flip it around, dude. If that's the advantage for K-State, what's the disadvantage? Where is the Cyclones' advantage at in this game?
Yeah, I think offensively for us, we are cracking a new wide receiver unit as well. It was lackluster last year. It's minus Jace Brown, who is returning and is our number 1 wide receiver. But just offensive weapons in general for Avery Johnson, it's going to be a new look. What are we going to see under a new offensive coordinator in Matt Wells? So we'll see what we can do offensively. I know in the Rate Bowl, what Matt Wells' first time showing what he can do, we had an explosive offense. It was dynamite. But that was versus Rutgers, who, they were down on their luck a little bit towards the back end of their season, being really injury prone. But we're losing DJ Giddens, who is arguably the 3rd best running back in school history. We are, like I said, the wide receiver unit, we think it's an upgrade, but do we really know until the bullets are flying? And Iowa State, their defense last year was kind of poor and by surprise, because Iowa State consistently is a top 5 defense, especially in the Big 12, but usually probably like 1 or 2 in the Big 12 in terms of defense. But last year just wasn't that. They returned a lot of players, but it's just our new weapons. Dylan Edwards at running back, can he be an every down back for us? I don't know if he can. If he can, he's more than explosive to, break a 70-yard run at any given time. But it's just going to take some time, and we'll see if the weapons that Avery Johnson has can get him to where he needs to go to take this team over the top. So that's what I'm looking for, because Iowa State, if they come back to the mean of what their defense usually is, I'm expecting them to have a salty defense with an inexperienced offense in terms of us. So that's really what I'm looking forward to. I don't think it's a weakness. I don't think there's really a weakness on this Kansas State team, minus special teams, which I don't know if you want to touch on, but it's going to be scary because usually special teams, you can see it right here. That's what we are. But this year, I don't know if we will be.
All right, this is, I think, the 8th time, if I'm not mistaken, Chef, that these 2 head coaches square off in Matt Campbell from Iowa State and Chris Kleeman from Kansas State. Uh, Campbell owns the record here. I think he's 5-2 in the 7 times they've gone up against each other here.
Yep.
Which coaching staff is the advantage? Which coaching staff's going to put their team in place to win this football game?
Man, I'm gonna have to give it to Campbell. I mean, just this is what I'll say. I think our head coach outweighs Matt Campbell by a long shot. But in this rivalry, you can only take it as a 1-game sample size. And Matt Campbell has got his number kind of. And we're cracking in a new OC, like I said earlier. Our defensive coordinator, he's been rock steady with us for, all of 7 years, maybe 6 years. I think he's been the defensive coordinator for 6 years. Our defense is going to come to play. Now, their offensive coordinator is a young, wild guy that he gets it done. He throws the kitchen sink every time he comes out there for Iowa State. I think his name is slipping me off the top of my head. But he gets it done. And their defensive coordinator, Hancock, he is the real deal. He basically is the innovator of that 3-3-5 that everybody's running in the Big 12 the past decade, really. It's going to be interesting. I want to give it to Iowa State because of the record. I think you got to prove it in my book. But I think if everything goes to plan, what we'd show in Ireland, I think that's going to flip on its head pretty quickly because I think Chris Kleiman has got the recruiting pedigree. He's starting to get it going on the recruiting trail. He's starting to get this roster really, really talented. And now he's going to hopefully be able to lock down an offensive coordinator for hopefully the next 3 or 4 years. And that's going to get this coaching staff going in the right direction. But right now, they have to prove it against Iowa State because the last few games, they've really put it to us.
All right, guys, it's time to find out where we're going to put our money where our mouths are here. So here are the week 0 matchups. There are 5 of them. Every week here on the College Huddle, we're going to highlight 4 or 5 big games against the spread. We're going to pick them against the spread. It is Chef versus myself here. And it'll be me versus the guest every single week against the spread to see how we do. We'll keep a running total, and that way, if you actually make bets based off of what I predict, it's your own fault. Warning now, just letting you all know. My co-host on the other podcast I run, Chris, is much better at this than I am, but he's also a quote-unquote semi-professional gambler. I am not. So I like to only gamble when I've got a little extra scratch that won't hurt me when I lose because I typically lose. So there's your fair warning. All right. Here we go, Chef. Let's go start with the big one, man. 12 p.m. kick on ESPN. By the way, is that what is that over in Dublin? Is that like 5 or 6 o'clock?
Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. Yep.
I figured such. K-State, -3 here. They are a 3-point advantage in this game, according to the bookies that I was looking up earlier today when I made this little graphic. So, Chef, you're the guest. I'll let you pick first here, man. What are you going to do with these points in Farmageddon?
I've got the score 27-23 Cat, so I'm going to take Kansas State to cover that 3 points. Woo! A lot of reasons for this. I think our red zone defense is going to really hold up against them, and we're going to hold them to 3 field goals. And actually, I take that back. It's 28-23. I know on other podcasts I made this score prediction, so I want to stick with it. 28-23. We don't kick any field goals. 4 touchdowns, 2 by Avery Johnson, and we're gonna hold on late. Because we need to, we hold them to the 3 field goals, but they get a late touchdown to get it to 23, and we ice it out in the 4th quarter.
All right, I'm going to agree with you, Chef. I'm taking the over. Let me explain why. I have Avery as a dark horse Heisman Trophy candidate this year.
Okay, I like it.
I think he's your guy. What you laughing for, bro?
I had this last year. We had this exact conversation on on Avery Johnson being a Heisman finalist. Uh, I think the public perception of what Kansas State does as an offense is not going to lend itself to be a Heisman contender.
Well, I think you were a year premature.
Okay, well, yeah, I get that, but I
Yeah.
think let's look at it this way: a Heisman quarterback. What's the statistics usually look like? I know a lot of it has to do with winning. A lot of it
Hmm.
has to do with that. If we win, he'll certainly get his name buzzed around. But statistically, the record at Kansas State for passing touchdowns is 25. He
Yeah.
already owns that. He broke that last year.
He's going to break his own record.
Yeah,
I think the thing that he's going to bring to the table that is going to be highlight worthy, because let's be honest, Heisman is about it is a glorified uh, sports pageant is what this is.
I like it.
It's all about the glitz, the glamour, the popularity. Just look at last year's winner if you need any example here. Um, yeah, and I think he does enough with his legs to
Okay.
extend plays, to get first downs in big moments, to allow himself to buy the receivers more time to get open. I think he's going to have quite a few of those ESPN top 10 moments to where I think he could get considered for New York. So I think this is going to be all eyes on him, big moment overseas, going to have a nice game. I have Kansas State as one of my teams to possibly win the Big 12 this year. Again,
Well,
I picked them
let's do it.
last year. I was a little premature on that, just like you were on Avery Johnson a year ago. But it's the catch year. I think it's going to be between them and Texas Tech, and I like them in game number 1. So give me the points. I'm going to take the over here in week 0 against Iowa State. All right, now these next 4. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know a whole lot here. So I'm going to probably take more of the mathematical what would make sense here. Idaho State from the FCS against UNLV. This one is a 4 p.m. kick on the Mountain West Network. I didn't know
No
there
one's
was a Mountain
watching that.
West
No one's
Network. I didn't
watching that.
even know that. I didn't
No
even
one's
know that
watching that.
existed. UNLV is getting 25 and a half points here. Give me Idaho State on the under, dude. Like, that is way too many points. Idaho State is not a slouch program here in the FCS. And
Okay.
UNLV's coach left and went to Purdue, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Barry
And
Odom.
a lot of those players went with them. Give me Idaho State with the under.
I'm actually going to go the opposite. I'm going to take UNLV at home in Allegiant Stadium. I think the running Rebs, I think their quarterback is Alex Orji, if I'm not mistaken. Starting quarterback Alex Orji. They have a dynamite. I mean, they are. I don't know if you ever watched the Netflix show Last Chance U,
Yeah.
but that's basically what they're doing at UNLV. They are taking the all transfer team. If you don't have at least 3 colleges on your bio page, they
We
don't
don't want
want
you.
you. And so I'm going to take UNLV running Rebs to cover that 25 and a half. Idaho State, you know this as good as well as anybody. Ohio State took their best player on defense in the transfer portal. They have no shot. They have no shot on the road at UNLV.
I didn't say they were going to win the game, but 25 and a half points.
I mean,
Uh,
really, that's only 4 touchdowns. That's easy.
is 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 it smart, Chef, to put Last Chance U in Vegas? I don't know if that's a good idea. Like that just sounds like a disaster waiting to happen,
I
man.
think you're right. I think you're right. I think it's going to be a failed experiment. But versus Idaho State, uh, they don't have. I don't think they don't think they'll have a problem with. I think the Tigers. Are they the Tigers?
Yeah, Tigers and the Rebs. All right. 6:30 p.m. on Fox. This is the second biggest game of the day, in my opinion. Fresno State, who is not scared to go anywhere and play anybody. That is
Mm-hmm.
definitely their calling card. They're going to do so by going to the state of Kansas. So a team that I know you're familiar with and you don't have a lot of love for.
No.
The Jayhawks are getting 12 and a half points here. They're so I'll go first here. Give me Fresno State. I think I'm going to take the under on this one. I think that they could put a scare in Kansas. It was only a year ago, week 1 in the big house, that they had Michigan on the ropes till the end of the game when the quarterback threw a pick six, and then it was kind of a moment for the Wolverines. Fresno State has done it before. I'm not saying they're gonna win the game, but they are going to keep this thing close, at least to one score.
I can respect that. Uh, Kansas State had a wide receiver by the name of Cade Warner, if memory serves me correctly, which I know it does. That's the son of Kurt Warner. And the son of Kurt Warner, his second son, the son of Kurt Warner, is the starting quarterback for Fresno State.
Oh,
And
give it to me.
they're going to David Booth Stadium, the newly renovated bird cage, if you will. Give it a Google image, David Booth Stadium. It looks absolutely ridiculous, but they are cracking a new stadium out. But I'm going to follow you. I'm going to take Fresno State plus the points, 12.5. I think Jalen Daniels, he's a good player when he's healthy, but he is made of glass. I think the Bulldogs put it on him. They lost arguably the best team that Kansas has ever assembled, and they went 6-7 or something like that. Absolutely a joke of a program. I will never root for the Squawks. Give me Fresno State plus the points. Kansas does pull out a dub because I am a Big 12 follower as well, so I don't want the Big 12's name tarnished, but they will not cover 12.5.
All right, heading over to the CBS Sports Network at 7 p.m., where you've got a couple G5ers, Sam Houston at Western Kentucky. Shout out the Hilltoppers podcast over there. They're waving their red flags up there in the Bowling Green, Kentucky, where they're getting 10 points against Sam Houston. Give me Western Kentucky. They're going to cover this one easy.
Yeah, I have no idea where this game came from on this. I was kind of getting glimpses of other things, but I cannot connect this game to Kansas State at all. I have no idea. I had a buddy that I went to high school with that went to Western Kentucky. That is the only thing that I know. And because of that, shout out to Theo Gray, I am going with Western Kentucky to cover the 10.5. Give me that Western Kentucky Hilltopper Magic. I love their mascot. An absolute red blob. That's beautiful.
Well, they played in the Conference USA championship game last year, if I'm not mistaken. They've got a very good team. They are a team that if things can go right for them this year, they're going to win that conference and maybe compete to be the at-large bid from the G5. So that's kind of pie in the sky for them, but they are getting talked about in the upper echelon in G5. So I think they cover this one pretty easy. Stanford from the ACC, it just never feels right saying that. At Hawaii is getting 2.5 over the Cardinal. How far has Stanford football fallen to be a week 0 matchup at Hawaii, and the Rainbow Warriors are favored by just under a field goal?
Yeah, Stanford
Holy
is
smokes.
Stanford, I think they fired their coach in April. My God, what a great time to fire your head coach. I can see why this line is the way it is. The Rainbow Warriors -2.5. I mean, it's a tempting line. I think Vegas knows exactly what they're doing here. I don't know anything about the Rainbow Warriors program this year. They are at home, but I can't imagine that that's going to be quite the home field crowd that they're going to have to maybe in front of 60 people. I think the pedigree of Stanford, no matter who their coach is, should be able to keep it within a field goal. They get a field goal, for God's sakes. Give me Stanford plus 2.5. I don't think this shouldn't be a debate at all. It's not like they're an actual ACC team that has to travel across the damn across the whole country to get over to the Hawaii Islands and is enamored by it. They're from Palo Alto. It's a stone throw to Hawaii. So give me Stanford. This is probably going to be the closest road game that they play, which is actually hilarious. So give me Stanford to plus 2.5. That's easy money for me.
Oh, okay. This is a pick 'em, dude. How
Kinda.
fun? How funny is that? Um, there's got to be an upset at some point on this week 0. At some point. Um, give me Hawaii.
Well, that ain't an upset. They're getting
It's
2.5 points.
it's an
I mean, they're
upset,
giving two and a
dude.
half points.
That's a G5 taking down a Power 4, albeit maybe the weakest Power 4 in college football. Um, yeah, you're right. It's really not. It's a pick 'em, so it's not really an upset here, man. No, I'm gonna go Rainbow Warriors. I'm gonna go with you. I think they cover, and
Okay.
that means that you and I will disagree on 2 of these this week, and so we'll find out how we do against the spread, everybody. But that's your week 0 right there, man. Football is officially back, baby.
Mm.
It took a while, Chef, but we're here, man. And you get to celebrate before everybody else in week 0, watching your Cats go, man. Give me your prediction for the season this year for the Cats.
Man, I've been asked that so many times. I mean, we've done it. We've filled out the whole, every game on a computer. We've done it. I've done it from my brain. I've done it all over the place. I think Kansas State loses one game this season in the regular season. I think it's versus Texas Tech. I think we go 11-1 and we get a rematch of Texas Tech, who's I think is going to be undefeated. I had a hard time finding where Texas Tech loses this season. They are a transfer portal darling. If that's the thing about the transfer portal. If it hits, you've got a good squad. But if it doesn't, it could fall into calamity and be bad news. But I think it does hit for Texas Tech and Joey McGuire this season. We go to AT&T Stadium in Arlington for the Big 12 championship versus what I could only imagine probably a 90% Texas Tech fan base in front in Jerry World. I still think we get it done, though. I think we get them in the rematch. I think we're 12-1 going into the playoffs as the Big 12 champion. Now, when we get to the playoffs, I don't know. We probably get smoked by 38 or something like that. But for right now, because I am a Big 12 fan, I am a Kansas State fan, I have realistic expectations of where we stand in the footprint of college football. I think conference championships are the king of what you should be striving for as a Kansas State fan. And if we get our second one in, what is that? Second one in 4 years. I mean, give it to me now. I put that straight into my veins. I don't want anything else. I won't ask for anything else. Trust me. I promise I won't.
Well, we'll see at the end of the year if you're asking for something else or not, Chef. But us college football fans, we don't have to ask anymore for college football to get here. It is arrived. Enjoy the games, everybody. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Like this video. Let us know what you think about what we think down in the comment section below. Let me know what your picks are in these 5 games in week number 0. Chef, tell everybody where they can find the Cocaine Willie Podcast.
You can find me personally on Twitter. That's really where I stay at. I'm a sicko for the old Bird app, at Chef Andre Napier on Twitter. I'll follow you back if you got an interesting page. Trust me on that one. I do a lot of funny stuff on there. I'm the gift god. But you can follow the Cocaine Willie Podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all that. You can find us everywhere on the College Huddle. We love you guys. Follow my boys, Bob Trollsby and Fireball Matt Marchesini. They are in Dublin as we speak.
Woo!
Right now. They are boots on the ground, handing out Cocaine Willie koozies, where you can also find those on the Cocaine Willie store at cocainewillie.com. Buy some merch. Why not? Wildcat Country. Let's ride.
I gotta get one of your hats, man. But here's the deal. I gotta see pictures of a bunch of Irish people from Dublin drinking their beer with Cocaine Willie koozies. I gotta see that. That sounds fantastic, dude. Make sure they're taking tons of pictures of that. That is going to be great content right there. Make sure you go follow them. If you're a K-State fan and you're not following the Cocaine Willie podcast, you're doing it wrong. Go over there, subscribe to their channel, everybody. If you have trouble finding them, go to the College Huddle, thecollegehuddle.com. Go over to the Big 12, scroll down to Kansas State. There you'll find their page with all their links for you, so you can find anything you want that is Cocaine Willie podcast centric. And of course, follow the College Huddle channel as well. We're going to have a great season here at the College Huddle. All right, till next time, go Cats. Is that what we're saying? Go Cats. Is that where we're at?
Go Cats, baby. Let's go.